It's me, Boris the Bee Guy, reporting from the Apiary side of our secluded forest lake in central Maine. Winter is about to start, and a thin layer of ice started appearing at the shoreline. On the opposite side of the lake, there are 3,000 acres of state-owned woodlands, a wildlife sanctuary. On our apiary side, there are also hundreds of acres of pristine woodlands with zero industrial or agricultural pollution. This castle with towers is not for the bees. And those horizontal beehive castles on the edge of tall pine trees are for the bees. These spacious beehives are built like fortresses with wool-insulated double walls and metal roofs. In summertime, these horizontal hives give plenty of space to the bees and can be managed with minimal disturbances to the bees. Horizontal beehives, however, require a special winter setup because they have the same space heating problem as medieval royal castles did. Do you know that in wintertime, large royal medieval castles were extremely hard to heat and they were usually cold and drafty? That's why canopy beds were invented. They provided the royals with warmth and privacy in a smaller enclosed space. And that's very similar to what we do here with the bees wintering in large horizontal hives. In wintertime, there are fewer bees, and we make the space for them small, warm, and cozy, quite like royal canopy beds in large medieval castles. A pillow with 1 pound of natural wool goes on top of our warm canopy bed, and the double walls of our bee castle are also insulated with almost an inch of wool. The best of royal castles also need a royal garden right out front. The split screen here shows side by side both the summertime and the wintertime views of the same location in front of the beehives. It's almost wintertime now, and you can now only see a dusting of first snow right where this past summer flowers were abuzz with bees collecting nectar and pollen. These are long-flowering borage and lacy phacelia that we planted just for the bees. This past summer, within 70 yards of the beehives, we also had a lot more flowers in our royal bee garden. Here you can see bee balm, meadow sage, pincushions, and even a young linden tree that was starting to flower. Within a mile from the beehives, we have hundreds of acres of meadowlands with wild lupins, thistles, Queen Anne's lace, fleabane, goldenrods, blueberries, etc. Plenty of clean, pesticide-free sources of pollen and nectar for the bees. Bees make honey to have a food source to sustain their colony over winter. We never ever exchange any part of the bees' honey stores for sugar. There's not enough nutrients in sugar. We never feed sugar to the bees, as the bees' health and the quality of honey are more important to natural beekeepers than the quantity of honey. Take a look at this warning from Malta Beekeepers Association. Feeding bees sugar is bad for both them and you. Natural beekeepers would rather have healthier bees than a record-breaking harvest of some kind of honey from overworked, overstressed, sugar-fed bees. Horizontal beehives allow us to practice minimally invasive colony management, and on average, we harvest no more than 25 pounds of honey per colony, leaving bees ample reserves of honey and pollen for the winter. The average honey yield per colony of conventional honey from sugar-fed bees is up to 3 times higher than yield for honey from natural beekeeping where the bees are never fed sugar. Every real flower adds its own nectar's magic to the taste of honey. How do you think sugar feeding of bees affect the taste with such triple difference in average honey yield per colony? The minimally invasive approach to beekeeping that we practice was championed by the author of Keeping Bees with a Smile, Lazutin, who inspired countless beekeepers to adopt bee-friendly beekeeping methods that put the bees first. Only if there's way too much honey reserves, we will take that excess honey only, because if we leave too much honey for the winter, it will actually diminish the bees' chances to survive. According to Dr. Shoroshkin, a longtime natural beekeeper in Ozarks, Missouri, leaving too much honey is actually as dangerous as not leaving enough. The extra honey absorbs heat, and when the bees can't keep all that volume warm, the honeycombs will cool with condensation forming on them, leading to moisture problems, mold growth, attracting moth parasites, forcing the bees to abscond. And with growing environmental threats to bees' habitats, absconded bees are having ever diminishing chances of finding new suitable homes in a timely manner. In other words, when there's too much honey left for the bees, if the beekeeper does not remove the excess honey before winter, the bees will have far worse survival chances. So if there is excess honey that should not be left over winter, we do take it. Just like the royal servants are entitled to some delicious crumbs from the royal table. Thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe.